So I believe, especially those who are new to the class, I think today we have a new member, James. So I believe that all of us, we have opened the notes. The topic or the first item that you are looking at today is regression analysis. Now, regression is a statistical method that is used to study two things. One, it shows us the nature of the relationship. And number two, the strength of the relationship that exists between variables. Now, this is a very, very important area to know, not only in academia, but also in life, because life is made up of relationships. And what you get in life or you don't get depends on the kind of relationships you are in or you are not. Like right now, you are hearing me because me and you, we have a relationship, teacher-student. Yeah. So our relationship, when you look at it, the type is teacher-student. Then we may also want to know the strength. Even in this class, there are some of you here I have never seen physically. The others here that we know each other at a close range. So the strength differs. So when you are looking at any relationship, you need to know what is the nature, what kind of a relationship is there, and what is the strength. And the whole idea about this is to be able to know that relationship that is already there. Can I ride on it and I get the benefits that I want? Or will it stop me from achieving what I want? Now, whatever now you conclude, you are able to respond appropriately. So this is a very, very important aspect. We need to know the type of relationship, the strength of the relationships that exist between variables. So in academia, that study is called regression analysis. So we have two types of variables in any relationship, even the relationships we form as human beings. Kuna wakusema na wakuambiwa. Like right now between me and you, mimi ndio ninaongea saa hii ukiwa umenyamaza. Yeah. Maybe when we come to revision, wewe utakuwa unaongea na mimi nimenyamaza. So any relationship, there must be two persons, wa kuongea na wa kunyamaza. At least at a particular point of time. At a particular point of time. So we have the dependent and the independent. So the dependent is the one whose values are influenced by another variable. The dependent variable is the one whose values are determined or they are influenced by another variable. Now, in an equation, we can only have one dependent variable. You can only have one at a time. And this is always represented by letter Y. However, you can use any other letter in the alphabets. You can use any other letter, but traditionally we have used Y as the dependent variable. The other one is the independent variable, and this is the one that influences the dependent. It is the one that makes the dependent to change, and it is the one that is not influenced. So when you come across a situation where you have two variables, the key question to raise is, which one influences the other one? Now, the one that influences is called the independent, and the one that is influenced is called the dependent. So that is what you must always be able to identify. Now, the independent, they are always represented by X, or they are usually represented by X. But again, you can use any letter in the alphabets. For the independent variable, it is possible to have just one. it is possible to have just one independent variable. If you have just one independent variable, that equation inakaanga like this: y is equals to a plus bx. Yeah, that is one independent variable. Now here, one independent variable, we call it simple. It's called simple. Now the multiple is where you have more than one. Like maybe you have y is equals to a plus bx plus, maybe we could, if Excel at times does not allow us to write the subscripts, so maybe I could talk of CZ plus DR and so on and so on. So you see now, this one has more than one independent variables. More than one independent variables. So we'll be interpreting these values as we go by and by in this area. Higher. The procedure, if you want to do this regression using Excel, the procedure is you select the data, then you click on the data tab, you go to the data analysis option that we had last time. You select the regression from the dialog box and click OK. Then you select the range of data to the input ranges appropriately. If multiple, that is, if you have more than one independent variables, you select all the independent variables together. We'll be showing that in a while. Then you check the labels. Checking the label means the names of those variables should appear in your result. Then for the constant, you skip it. I'll be showing you that. And then you select any other that you want and you click OK. So that is the basic procedure that we are going to follow. Now, I want to repeat how to insert the data analysis, particularly because of those who are joining us for the very first time. So that when I come now to the question, we are all having data analysis. So this is what you do. You click here, File. You click File. Click File. Then you go to where we have options. You click on Options. You click on Options. When you click on Options, you click on this one that is called Add-ins. You click on Add-ins. Click on Add-ins. Click on Add-ins. When you click on Add-ins, you click on this Go. This one. Go. Then you will find these ones being empty or not being ticked. So you tick them. You tick them. When you tick them, you click OK. Yeah. So if you have not been able to follow that procedure, let me know. Particularly those who are joining us today, those who are there in the previous lesson, we did that. If you have not followed, let me know. You just chat. Okay, silence means that all of us are there. So if all of us are there, that is great. So now we can proceed. So as you have said, you select the data. Although it's not even a must you select the data, you can go straight. You can go straight. So just come here and click the data tab. Click the data tab. When you click on the data tab, click on data analysis. You can see data analysis. Click on it. Click on data analysis. Na ukiachwa tu hivyo unanialert. Ukiachwa unanialert. So click on data analysis. When you click on data analysis, you look for regression. Among these many things here, you scroll upwards or downwards, wherever you get regression. You click on it. You click on it. When you click on regression, you click OK. You click OK. You click OK. When you click OK, you have that wizard or that dialog box that has opened. You have that wizard or that dialog box that has opened. So the first segment that you can see is the segment for inputs. The segment for inputs. So you shall input Y. So this question at hand already has told us who is Y. So you select from here. You ensure that the cursor is here in this field. Hii ka space inaitwa field. So when your cursor is there in the input Y range, you come and pick from here, from Y that way. You pick those values. Then you click on the next space, the next field. You click on the next field. So the next field, we have input X range. This is where you put the values of X. So you put them that way. The values of X. When you put the values of X that way, the next thing, you can see now we have labels. So labels, we tick them. We tick the labels so that the name of that variable will come up in our result. So this one, you tick it. Now this one for constant is 0, that one you leave it unchecked. You leave it unchecked because if you check it, it will give you the value of A as 0. It will give you the value of A as 0, which may not be true. There are times A will be 0, but it's not all the times. So we just want to leave Excel to compute. So you don't tick that one. Confidence level, this one you always tick. Confidence level. You always tick. Mine has disappeared. Let me wait for it to come. You tick the confidence level.
Iko chini. Mine behave the same.
Iko wapi? Oh,
Kwa hapo chini.
has reservist. Okay. I was waiting for it to show up. Good, thank you. So you tick the confidence level. The other section is the output. Now, this is where you say where you want your results to go. This is where you say where you want your results to go. And we have three possibilities, as we said last time. You can click the output range. So output range, italeta your answer hapa, where on the same worksheet that you are on. If you want to go to a new worksheet, like what you are doing with the scenario manager, itaenda huko, you click there. If you want to go to a completely different workbook, then you tick here. So for us, nataka ikue hapa, so tick this one. You tick the output range that way. Tick the output range. Then you put the cursor in this field. Put the cursor in that field. And then now you click on the cell. You click on the cell where you want your results to be. So let's bring them here, hapa kwa C. So click on C21. I want C21, yes. C21. That's where I want the answer to be. C21. C21. The other one is, this one is residuals. So this one for the residuals, we don't need them. We don't need them. There are some of them are graphs for the residuals. If you did advanced MA or advanced or rather QA and you did reliability tests, kuna table huwa tunachora iko na like 12 columns. So hizo columns, those values ndio hizi. So we don't need them here. We don't need them here. We also don't need the normal probabilities. So for your case, unasimamia tu hapo. For your case, hiyo imetosha. Kama kuna message. Okay, what I said about the confidence level, I said you tick them. Confidence level, we tick it. This one. Yeah. Maybe I'll be talking about it in a while when we are interpreting the results. I'll mention kidogo about it, confidence level. Okay. So I was saying for your case, you need to ensure umejaza hapa kwa Y, umejaza hapa kwa X, umetick labels, umetick confidence, na umetick output range, umespecify where your results should go. Now click OK. Click OK and tell me whether you get the results. Sema yes kama umepata results. Only 2 people have gotten results. Yeah, good, 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 good. So let me click. Will overwrite existing data. Okay, kwani nimeweka wapi? Let's just click OK. Just click OK. Just click OK, whatever it was saying, overwriting. Just click OK. Oh, imefika mpaka hapa. Oh, this is what it was saying here. Oh. So ime interfere na this one. So we should have put it maybe a little bit up. Uh-huh. Okay. I think what it has just overwritten is this one should be cost. This should be costs, if I'm not wrong. That's what it has. It may overwrite costs. But we have everything. We have everything. So acha ikae hivyo. So if you double click here, you can see now the output. So we have the first item, the regression statistics. We have multiple R, we have R square, we have adjusted R square, standard error, and observations. Then we have ANOVA. This is next one, naitwa ANOVA table. So this ANOVA table, we have the regression, we have residual, we have total. Then we have these columns. We have these columns that you can be able to see there. We have a column called DF, another one called SS, MSF, significance. Yeah. Wale mlifanya AMA la sitting, mliletewa swali ya haka katebo kalikuwa kameletwa haka. Kalikuwa kwa mtihani. Got told to interpret. Wale walifanya AMA la sitting. Okay, so we are going to interpret that. Then we have the third one. Hii nayo tunaitanga table of coefficients. If you expand here and you expand this one, oh, hiyo imeenda sana. Hiyo imeenda, acha nirudishe mpaka somewhere there. So hii inaitwa standard error. We have the T statistic. Then we have these ones, the lower 95, the upper 95, the lower 95, the upper 95. So hapa huwa zimejirudia. So you can either retain them, the two of them, or you can choose to delete. Naona hizi zimejirudia hizi. Yeah, so you can choose to do away with this one, or you can just keep them there. There is no harm. The other thing that you need to see, you see now when we ticked the labels, it enabled us to have this name here. You see this X here. Yeah. So kama hatuge tick labels, X cannot show here or could not show here. Good. I think we are okay with that. How to solve regression. Let's do another one that has two variables. So tukuje kwa hii. So kama yako overwrite hapa hii item, just write cost, the word cost. These are hours, these are units, these are costs. These are costs. So let's begin the process again. So the process is you click on data, you go to data analysis. Regression is already settled there because you have just used it. Then you click OK. When you click OK, the wizard that comes up still contains what you have previously or you previously entered. And therefore, you need to remove this one. You need to remove, otherwise if you don't remove, itachukua zile tulikuwa tumeweka in the previous example. You can remove mpaka hii ya the output. Those three fields, you clean them. Hii ya y uitoe, hii ya x utoe, na hii ya output. Kisha umetoa. Kisha umetoa. So let's now enter the values just like we have done. So sasa hapa tunaanza na y. We always start with y. So unachukua kutoka hapa. Y ndio cost. So tunaanza hapa mpaka hapo. Sikuwa nimeshift my cursor from the output. Niko hapa kwa y. Inastahili kuwa hapa kwa y input. So nimetoa hapo. So nachukua again mpaka hapo. Chukua again mpaka hapo. Haya, then tuweke the x, the input x. Now x's are 2 now. They are 2. So this is a case of multiple. If they are 2, you just pick them together. If they are 2 or 3, whatever number they are, you pick them together. Sasa unachukua kuanzia hapa hivi mpaka hapo. Yeah. If they are 2, unazichukua pamoja. If they are 3 or whatever number, because you can get several variables, several independent variables, unazichukua zote pamoja. After that, we already have ticked our labels. So these labels, it is what will allow these names, the hours, the units, and the costs, particularly these two, the hours and the units, to appear in our result. The confidence, that one we have put 95%. Then we come and specify. So hii nataka tuangalie ndio tusi overwrite. Hii iko hapa chini. So sasa wacha tukuje tuiweke hapa kwa nani? Hapa kwa E41. E41. So I click on E41 atwe. So click OK. Kisha weka hivyo, click OK. So once again, we have our results there. Our results there. So this one, imeenda sana. Bisha hapo. So you can see now the results, the same format, the regression statistics, the ANOVA, ndio hiyo, the table of coefficients. Now you can see the hours here and the units. So I want to believe that we are good. Now, if we are good, I want you on your own, on your own, sasa ufanye hii example 3. Example 3. Na those results uziweke hapa kwa C63. I hope hii haina kitu ita overlap ya. Nifanyie hii ya example 3, uweke the results hapa. So I give you a few minutes. Maliza, sema finished. All right, finished. Yeah, I can see we have finished. That's good. That's good. So if you are finished, then you must be having nimesema tunaiweka hapo kwa E63. So lazima ukue umekuja hapa ukasema regression, kuja hapa ukatoa hii, toa hii, toa hii, karudi hapa. This is the maintenance costs. Kuja ukachukua hii ya X, kuja hapa kwa output, tumesema tunaiweka kwa E63. Oh, then okay. Yeah. So I believe those are the results that you have. Yeah. Those are the results that we have. So if those are the results, let us now move to the next stage. So the stage that we have done was to know how to compute. Now I believe if you are presented with a question of simple regression, just one variable or two variables, you'll be able to solve. After solving, let's now see how to interpret. How do you interpret? So you want to start by interpreting these values. These ones. The regression statistics. So, regression statistics. So let's start with multiple R. You enter this value, you say equals. Let's copy the value from here, multiple R, this one. You can enter it there. We can also copy this one for R square equals, or we get it there. You enter. the standard error equals, ukuje uchukue hii, you enter the observations, I hope hiyo nimechukua vizuri. Standard error nimechukua. So ile tumeacha, lakini tunaweza ongeza. Acha tuongeze, insert another row here, ndio I can also interpret it, though it does not make a difference, a big difference. So I want to interpret this one equals this adjusted R. So the value for adjusted R, that one. So hakikisha umezileta hapo, kisha you have brought the values there. So for this multiple R, so hapa tutaandika, these notes are not there, we are going to type. So multiple R is also known as correlation coefficient. Yeah. So you can call it correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient. And this correlation coefficient shows the type and strength of the relationship. Yeah. It shows the type and the strength of the relationship. Shows the type and the strength of the relationship. Maybe I need to remind you. Maybe I need to remind you, you can type somewhere here. Type of relationship. Type of relationship. Type of relationship. And then here, variables. Change towards. And then sign of the slope. Sign of the slope. So those are three things. So the first relationship, huwa inaitwa direct. And direct means they change towards the same direction. Towards the same direction. Direction. And the sign is positive. Kuna mwingine anaitwa inverse. These ones, they change towards opposite directions. and the sign is negative. Then kuna ingine inaitwa null. Null, here no effect. They don't affect each other and the sign is 0. Even put boundaries. Yeah. So those are the 3 types of relationships that we have. The first one inaitangwa direct relationship. Direct means they change towards the same direction. If one is increasing, the other one is also increasing. If one is decreasing, the other one is decreasing also. And when you want to know the sign, or rather when you want to know what type of a relationship, we look at the sign for the slope. We look at the sign for the slope. Like now here, this is a positive, this is a slope. I'll be telling you in a while. This is a slope. It's positive. That means they are moving towards the same direction. The other one inaitagwa inverse. Inverse means they change towards opposite directions. When one is decreasing, the other one is decreasing. When one is decreasing, the other one is increasing. And that one is picked from the negative sign. If the sign here is negative, that tells you we have an inverse relationship. Higher. Null means a change in one variable has no effect on the other variable. So the 2 variables are not influencing each other. And when you compute the regression, the value for the slope, this one, will be 0. Will be 0. So slope is one of the indicators of the type of the relationship. But now we are also introducing here that multiple R or correlation coefficient also shows the type. Also shows the type. So like now this one, it is showing a strong relationship between these 2 items. Strong direct relationship. So when I say strong, I'm saying so because it also shows us the strength. The strength. Now the strength is measured in the range of 0 to 1. 0 to 1. If you are 0, it means no relationship. If it is 1, it means a perfect relationship. So if I was to interpret this now, this one, if I now just want to be specific, I'll say, I'll put it like this. This shows a very strong direct relationship between machine hours and, let me use the name that I had seen here, and maintenance costs. And maintenance cost. Yeah. So if you are to interpret this, it's very strong. 1 is positive, that's why we are saying direct. Then it is so close to 1, 0.9. That's why we are saying very strong. And then you tell us between machine hours and maintenance costs. So that is how you can interpret that. Haya, kuja kwa hii ingine. Kuja kwa hii ingine. R square. So R square, it shows the extent of changes in the dependent variable, in the dependent variable explained by changes in the independent. I'll use the word independent. In the independent variable. You can put into brackets S, because you could be having more than one. Yeah. It shows the extent of changes in the dependent variable explained. When we say explained, it is the other word of cost. Brought about, imeletwa na. Imeletwa na. So the interpretation is the same with this one. This adjusted. Actually, you can copy. Nataka ukope hapo. Press Ctrl C. And then you come and paste it here. Ctrl V. It's the same. These are R square and the adjusted R square is the same. Is only that this one is more strict. We say it's more strict. It's more strict. It's like when you are computing what we call the current ratio and the acid test. So the acid test inatoanga stock from the current assets. So it's a little bit strict. Haya. So kama tumeelewa hiyo, let's now interpret this specifically. I'm giving you the two things. I'm giving you general and then the specific. So kwa mtihani, you just write this one, the specific. Kwa mtihani, you write the specific. Okay, so now, ukiambiwa, you tell us what this means. We always interpret it as a percentage. So utasema 86.15% of changes in the maintenance costs. In the maintenance costs is explained by changes in the machine hours. Are they called machine hours? What was the name? Yeah, machine hours. In the machine hours. Yeah. So that's the meaning. 86.15 is explained or is brought about. Is brought about. Sasa hii tutaikopi tu hivi. Tutakopi Ctrl C, copy. Then you paste here Ctrl V. Lakini sasa hapa tutabadilisha kidogo. Hii percentage ya huyu ni 84.42. Yeah. So that is the only difference. So unaona hii mtihani yake ni ngumu. Hapa huyu anapata 84 na huyu anapata 86. That's the only difference. it is more strict. It is more strict. It's more strict, but the concept is the same. Higher. So this one shows the amount of error contained in the predicted value. Or I think I can put it this way. In the value predicted. In the value predicted using the equation. Yeah, it shows the amount of error contained in the value predicted using the equation. So we are going to develop the equation here. Remember we said regression is helping us to understand the nature and the type of the relationship. So we are going to develop the equation, and that equation is supposed to help us forecast. So when you forecast, it contains some errors. It contains some errors. It contains some errors. Contains some errors. Then, if I interpret this one now, I will say this is the plus or minus value. Plus or minus variance. Let me use the word variance. Variance in the predicted value. Yeah. So hiyo inakwambia ile value utapata predicted. For example, if you get 400, you are supposed to add 131 and then less 131 so that it gives you the interval. And that's where now the confidence interval comes in. Get the interval. That's where it comes in. Obviously, the smaller the error, the better. And then finally, this shows the number of observations. Shows the number of observations in the model. Yeah. So when you're told to tell us what is 10, so you simply say the data has 10 pairs of observations or 10 samples. Some people can call them samples. Yeah. So that is how you interpret. That's how you interpret. That's how you interpret those values. If you're okay at that point, say my yes. If you are okay at that point, say my yes. Yeah. Good. Good. Can see we are good. Haya. Sasa nataka to interpret the ANOVA. So hii table iko hapa, hii ya ANOVA. Hii ndio nataka to interpret. So what I had done, nilikuwa nimeacha hii space so that tuitoe hapa, we copy and paste it there ndio tuione kwa ukaribu. So let's do that. Select hii ANOVA mpaka hapa, you copy, Control C, ukuje we paste hapa, ukuje we paste hapa, Control V. So we are just bringing it closer to where we are doing the interpretation. We are just bringing it closer to where we are doing the interpretation. Just bringing it closer to where we are doing the interpretation. So, number one, this one I had saved. Vikata hii maandishi mengine nitasave. Vikata hii maandishi mengine nitasave. So I think even these ones I've saved so that those will come after you will not type. Okay. Haya. So let's come here. The first thing is DF. Hii column inaitwa DF. DF means when we went to campus, wengine walikuwa wanaitumia kusema district focus. You know, those of us who had come from the village, we were only talking about the village, thinking about the village. So you used to be told you have a district focus. Okay, but now here is not a district focus. It means degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom. So degrees of freedom is about how many choices you can make without consulting anyone. Now, how many choices you can make? Do you have a choice? Can you give me an example of a choice you can make without consulting anyone? And you implement it successfully? Because you can make a decision without consulting, lakini ukikuja kuimplement, wale ulifaa kuconsult na huku wa consult wanaisimamisha. So a decision you can make without consulting anyone. Give me an example. A decision you can make without consulting anyone in life, in your life, and you implement it. Very simple things. You don't have to be complicated. Kukura, good. Yes, Robert. Hiyo unaamua. Naamua. Chenye utakura. Although if you're married, at times you may need to consult. Yeah, sleeping. Yeah. Hiyo unalala tu. You don't have to consult anyone. Yeah. Going to church. Yes. Wardrobe choice. Yes. You don't consult. And so on and so on. So those are the choices you can make. You don't have to consult anyone. And you implement. But the others that you cannot just make. The others you cannot just make. If you feel like making them, you have to consult some people. Yeah. For example, kama ni kuhama where you stay, especially if you are a family person. Kama you are single, ukiamuka leo useme ninahama, wewe unahama tu. But if you are a family person, you cannot just amuka na useme tunahama. You have to consult or you have to consider some things. Yeah. Myself, when I'm teaching you here, I can decide to end the class here and now. That one I don't have to really consult you. But changing the timetable or now saying sasa tutakuwa tunasoma hii wiki yote hatutasoma, tutakuja hiyo wiki ingine. Now those ones I cannot just make. I have to consult you. I have to get your views. Yeah. Aha, Robert anasema kujenga nyumba. Nyumba ya vijana. Yeah. Oh, Siba. Oh, kujenga Siba. Siba, hiyo you don't consult. Ama hiyo you consult.
You must consult that one.
That one you must consult. You don't just amuka unajenga anywhere you want. Yeah.
Yes.
Mzee lazima kuonyesha mahali utajenga. Yeah. Ama wenye wamekutangulia. Yeah. So, by all those very many stories, I was simply trying to illustrate the meaning of this. The number of choices you can make without consulting. Now, in the regression here, the regression DF, this one, it shows it is 1. And it shows the number of independent variables. Ndio hii sasa. The regression DF, it shows the number of independent variables in the equation. In this case, it is just 1, which is machine hours. So kwa hii swali yenye tumejibu hii, the independent variable is just 1, machine hours. That's why sasa hapa, this is 1. The next one is called residual. So residual degrees of freedom, they are we get them as n minus k. N minus k. K is the number of items you are computing. And those items you are computing huwa zinapatikana hapa kwa these ones, the coefficients. Ndio hizi. So there are 2. 1, 2. Hizi ndio zinaitwa k, coefficients. So there are 2 of them. So unasema n is 10. Hii ndio n. So 10 minus 2 ndio inatupea this 8. Hiyo sijaiweka kwa our notes because it's not really very important for your exam. That's why sijaiweka hapo. Haya, hata hii sijaweka, but basically this one, it is the total degrees. So it is this one, 1 plus this 8, you get the 9. Okay. Haya. The next item that we need to know is, now when you know that you have just one independent variable, it helps you to know the format of the equation you're dealing with. So this one is y is equals to a plus bx, because we just have one, is what I had highlighted earlier here when we began, this one. Y is equals to a plus bx, and if you're dealing with multiple, you have something like this. Okay. The next one is SS. This SS means sum of squares. Sum of squares is the other word for variance. The other word for variance. But for now, sum of SS means sum of square. MS means mean sum of square. Mean sum of squares. And you obtain it by dividing SS using the DF. Naona hii SS, if you divide by this, you get MSS. And you can see, sasa hii ndio hii, because it is this SS divided by this one. Ukitaka kujua hii, we can even compute it somewhere here. Kuje useme equals, you take this one, you divide by this 8. Ndio hiyo. This one. You take this, you divide by this. Haya. But this one we don't. The total we don't divide. The total we don't. Haya. The next one, number 6 is F. This one. F means calculated value for F tests obtained by dividing. Oh, hiyo nimeiweka the wrong place. I should have put it somewhere here. This one, divide by this. Okay. Then F means the calculated value for the F test. Now, F shows us the significance of the relationship. When you are in a relationship, there is some importance you attach to that relationship. And some of the relationships you are in, or the relationships that you are in, because we are in very many different types of relationships, you value them differently. And a good show of the value is, kuna mtu anaweza kupigia simu hata saa hii, usimamishe chenye unafanya, you go respond to that phone call. Kuna mwingine atapiga, uiangalie tu hivi kwanza, ufinye ujue, seme huyo nitadili naye baadaye. So huyu wa baadaye umeattach a smaller value to that person, lakini yule ukiona simu yake lazima you respond, their value is higher to you. So that value that you have attached inapimwa through F. Ama yule mwingine mko na yeye kwa hiyo relationship, how they value you, unaweza pima ukitumia F. It's only that now this is not a statistics class. I can't go deeper, but I think that is good enough. Yeah. And it's good when you're in a relationship, ujue huyo mwingine anakuchukulianga aje, whether you are an option or a priority to them. Hiyo inapimwa ukitumia F. Haya, so the calculated, it is what now we are calling F. Then the significance F is what you read from the F tables. Now this one, it is this is the one that we are reading from the F tables, which is, I think maybe we can bring it here. This one, can bring it there. This one, you can also bring it here, the calculated, this one. Yeah. So hii F ndio inaitwa calculated, na hii ndio you read from the tables. For our case, we will not have a chance to interact with the tables, but maybe in your advanced management accounting or quantitative analysis, you came across them. If you remember, ni sawa. If you don't remember, isikusubue. Isikusubue. Higher. Now, the relationship in the above example is significant since the calculated value of F is greater than the value obtained from the table. You simply look at this one, this 49 and this one. If this one is bigger, than this, it means that relationship is significant. It is important. It's a relationship you cannot ignore. Yeah. If this is greater than this, that's what you're saying here. So that is what you should know about the ANOVA table. Let's go to the table of coefficients. This one, we can also copy now from here. Let's copy from here. Hii nayo to copy. Let's just bring up to there. You copy. Uje tuiweke huku chini karibu na where we want to do the interpretation. Yeah. So hii haina, I'm not going to interpret very many things, just two of them. Just two of them. So hizi, the first column contains the word intercept. This one. Hii ndio the first column here. It has the word intercept and the name or names of the independent variable or variables. Sasa kama hii iko na just one name, iko na machine hours because we had one. It contains the word intercept and the name of the independent variable. Ukiangalia ile tulikuwa tumesolve yenye ilikuwa na two of them, two independent variables, ndio hizi. Naona iko na intercept na iko na hours na iko na units. Iko na intercept, hours. These are names now. These two are names. These two are names. Haya. The other thing that you need to know, very very important, na hii tutakuwa tunaitumia sana kwa maswali ya CASNEP. These coefficients, these ones. The column of coefficients contains the values of the equation. So this equation already tumesema it is of this format. Y is equals to A plus BX. So ukiulizwa the value of A and the value of B, ndio hizi. Hii ndio inaitwa intercept na hii ndio inaitwa slope. Hii ndio inaitwa intercept na hii ndio inaitwa slope. So ukiambiwa uandike hii equation, we can write it like this. Y equals, so hii tutatype because ukiweka equal sign as a formula itasubua. So let's just type. It is 94.889, can just click a few, plus 2.436x. Yeah. So wakikupea kitu kama hii, uambiwe you give us the equation. That's the regression equation. That way. Hizi zingine zote, they are not necessary to us for now. Although this one, hizi za the lower and the upper, I'm going to use them in a while. I'm going to use them in a while. I don't know whether I put them in my, yes, they are here. I'm going to use them. Haya. So tumemaliza now interpretation. Hiyo ndio the second phase, interpretation. If you are okay, sema yes. If you are okay with the interpretation, sema yes. If you are not okay, you can seek the clarification. Yeah.
In a situation whereby we have two dependent variables, how do we write the equation?
Okay, how we write the equation is the same. Kama hii sasa, this one. So hii tutaiandika hivi. Y equals 29,485.23101 plus 21.438. Tuseme hiyo ya kwanza imesimamiwa na H. Hiyo ya kwanza imesimamiwa na H. Plus 19.2 02. Na hiyo ya pili imesimamiwa na U. So utaiandika hivyo. Is that okay, Robert?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Karibu. Lakini sasa hii, it's good to know that format. Lakini kwa mtihani yako ya B.D.A hautakubaliwa kutype. Kubali kutype. We want everything to be in terms of a function. I mean, in terms of a formula. But again, this is also very important. I think I need to emphasize on that because whatever you are going to use in the formula, lazima kwanza ukuwe unaiona kwa kichwa. Lazima ukuwe unajua inakaa aje ndio uitumie. So I hope that is clear, Mr. Robert.
Yes, yes.
Good. Any other concern before we move now to the next phase? Tushaangalia how to solve. That was the first. How to interpret the results. So kama tuko sawa, the third phase is how to use those results or to apply. And we are going to start with a very simple illustration here. How do you use the equation to predict? So we are told determine the total maintenance cost relating to 1500 machine hours. 1500 machine hours. So the machine hours, this one now we have to type 1500 there. Type 1500. Higher, the fixed costs. Now, if we are dealing with the costs, the constant, remember this intercept is the constant. This intercept is the constant or the this intercept, I think is good now that I've remembered that. You can also put the intercept, you can also call it fixed. You can also call it constant. It's good to note Kiingereza wakati mwingine. Yeah. When you see the word intercept, you can also call it fixed. You can also call it constant. Something else, he is slope. Slope, you can also call it, we have the slope. You can also call it gradient. You can also call it coefficient of independence. Oh, shaweka ikuwa capital. You can call it slope or coefficient of independent variable. Yeah, it's good to have those varieties. It's called coefficient. Coefficient is a number written next to another number. So E2.4, it is written to X, next to X. So I have said the fixed cost now is the intercept. Sasa hii tutasema equals. You now pick it from here. This is the fixed cost. You enter. My cell had already been formatted. That's why inaleta hivyo. Kama haikuwa formatted ingeileta tu ikiwa hivi. As in, kama sasa ningekuwa naileta hapa, ingetoka hivi. Yeah. Ingetoka hivyo. Haya. Then hii are variable costs. So I think I would wish to modify hapa kidogo. Kuja hapa uongeze variable cost per unit. Variable cost per unit. Alafu hii useme total cost, total variable cost. Total variable cost. Alafu hii ingine useme total costs. Yeah. So the variable cost per unit is this one. I should have used the correct hii because these are hours Ebu badilisha useme per hour. Become more used to units. Yeah. So ukiulizwa what is the variable cost per hour kwa hiyo swali, it is 2.44. Hiyo ndio variable cost. Na the fixed cost ni 94. So ukitaka kujua the total variable cost, sasa utakuja hapa useme equals, uchukue hii per unit times this number of, no, not per unit, per hour. Then you multiply by the number of hours there. Press enter nitumie jibu. Tumechukua hii per hour, the 2.4, una multiply na the number of hours. Multiply by the number of hours. Then you press enter. And see the first value coming in. Yes. Yeah. Send them. Send your answer. Okay. So that is the total variable cost. So if you want to know the total cost, you know very well that total cost is the fixed costs plus the variable costs. Fixed costs plus the variable costs. So hiyo ndio inakupea total cost. Sasa hii ndio tulikuwa tunasema when you predict this is the predicted, it will contain this error. Naona hii error tuliongelea hapa, this one, that one. Yeah. So hii value as you rely on it, ujue you expect that 747. Lakini inaweza pita iende higher by 131 ama inaweza kosa kufika hapo ikuwe lower by 131. Kuerua ama haya. Na ndio sasa unaona kwa hii zote, naona hii table inatuonyesha the lower and the upper. The lower and the upper. The minimum and the maximum. The minimum and the maximum. So with that, I want us now to do that. To have those three values. Tuende hapa juu, tuchukue these values. Easy. Chukue these values. I want us to copy them. You copy those values. When you copy, kuja upaste hapa. Paste hapa. Ukisha paste, we want to predict. And in our prediction, we will have three sets. We will have three sets. Kuna ile inaitagwa base. Base ni ile tu normal. Kuna ile inaitwa the lower value. Na kuna ile inaitwa the upper value. Yeah, so we want to predict these values. Tuziweke hapa at 95% confidence. So, this is what you do. Starting with the fixed. Utaklik hapa useme equals. Ukuja hapa kwa table ya ANOVA, this one. You pick this value. And when you pick, before you press enter, this value we are going to lock it. Tutaifunga hapo. you know or you remember how we log, huwa tunaweka the dollar sign. So unaweka cursor hapa before B. You put the cursor hapo before B. Then you press shift and button number 4. Shift and button number 4. Ndio weke dollar sign hapo. Shift and you press button number 4. Imeandikwa 4. Alafu bado tufunge hii, you put it hapa before 114. Tumesema hii value, nimesema useme equals, ukuje hapa kwa this one, kuja hapo kwa the intercept, click that. So nataka tufunge hii. So kufunga una press, unaleta cursor between equal sign and letter B, so that we insert the dollar sign. And dollar sign, because most of you are using laptops, that's the approach I want to use. Una press shift, alafu ile ina button number 4. Button number 4. Ama unaangalia mahali kuna dollar sign kwa your computer. Shift, alafu unafinya hiyo button. Is that okay, Mr. Okewa?
Yes, I'm okay, sir.
Good. So sasa tumefunga, hiyo tumefunga ni column. Nataka tufunge the row. So unakuja hapa between B and 1. Between B and 1, you press shift and button number 4 again. So hiyo tumeifunga. So ukishaifunga, you press enter. You press enter. You press enter. Then you click back there. You click back. When you click back, you autofill either by dragging or by double clicking hapa. Kakikuwa black, you can double click that way. Ujazie. You double click, it will fill in the values. Haya. The variable, if you want to get the variable, it will be equal to, uchukue hii variable cost per unit, this one. Alafu sasa hiyo variable cost per unit tutaifunga. Tuifunge. So you put the cursor here before B, shift button number 4, shift button number 4. Alafu you weke cursor before B and 1, you say shift button number 4. So hiyo variable cost umeifunga, but now variable cost must be multiplied by the unit. So you say times. So rudi hapo kwa after 5, you say times. You say times. Tunataka sasa hiyo iende ikimultiply all those hours. And forgive the interchange of the words hours and units. Higher. So that is the variable cost per hour. We multiply by this number of hours. This one. Press enter and send me the figure. Press enter, send me the figure. Press enter, send me the figure. Yeah, good. You can see the 974. So I just press enter, ndio hiyo. Then you double click to autofill. Double click to autofill that way. You double click to autofill. The next one ni total. Total, as we said, should be equal to this fixed plus the variable. So add the two and give me the answer. The fixed plus the variable, hiyo hakuna ya kufunga because tutataka iteremuke. It is a relative cell reference. Yes, 1069.33. The others. Yeah, good. Alafu sasa you autofill. Just autofill that way. So those are called the normal values. Those are the normal values, the base. The base. If they want you to get the lower value, you do the same thing. Unakuja hapa kwa fixed, tunasema equals, unarudi hapa kwa hii table ya coefficients. Sasa unachukua hii, the intercept ya the lower, this one. This minus 147, hiyo ndio unaweka hapo. Alafu kawaida unaifunga. You press shift button number 4. Na hapa shift button number 4. Unaifunga hivyo. Shaifunga, you enter. Then you autofill. Hiyo ndio fixed. Haya, tukikuja kwa na iko negative. Ikiwa negative tunasemanga is not making sense because you cannot have a fixed cost that is negative. It's called nonsensical or spurious. So the variable, the same argument. Tutakibia hapa juu kwa the lower value hizi. The lower uchukue sasa hii. Kwa lower uchukue hiyo. So ukishachukua hiyo, you come and lock it, shift button number 4. Here, shift button number 4. And then you multiply by the number of hours here. The number of hours. So when you multiply by the number of hours, you enter, you autofill. You autofill. Then for the total, we do the same. Tutasema equals. Uchukue this plus this. Then you autofill. You autofill. Hebu jaribu kujaza hii. Jaza hii ya the upper, the same concept. Jaza hiyo. The same concept. Good. I hope you have managed. Ukasema this is equals to, ukakimbia hapa kwa upper, then ukaifunga hivyo, then autofill namna hiyo. Variable equals, ukachukua hii alafu kwanza ukaifunga, then ukasema times, ukakimbia huku kwa the hours, then autofill, alafu huyu ukasema ni this plus this. So kama you are agreeing with my values, sema yes. Yeah. So then that is great. Nafikiria hiyo ya leo imetosha. I thought we'd be able to finish hii Rainest, lakini there is always another time. Yeah. So we will call it a lesson at that point. Then we hope to meet in our next lesson, God willing. Yeah. So thank you very, very much for attending the lesson. And thank you for continuing to market me. I really appreciate. And I continue asking all of us, when you come across someone who is interested in our services, the B.D.A. or any other unit in CPA, particularly the intermediate and the advanced, kindly refer them to us, and we will be glad. Thank you very much. Good night. I'll set the recording. If I don't make to set before going to bed today, tomorrow morning you'll have it, God willing. Good night.
Thanks, Mwalimu.
Good night.
Karibu.